people. I was just trying to kind of welcome you to the world of what it is to live in a world of modern times. There is what you call a nuclear silence. A nuclear silence is an alarm that is switched on when there's a warning that a nuclear weapon or a weapon of mass destruction has been detonated. It will explode over a city like New York or California or Chicago. And that nuclear alarm warning gives you less than 5 minutes to evacuate. And when it gives you less than 5 minutes to evacuate, it means that you have to look for a place to hide, because what it is that if a nuclear weapon is goes off, it kind of generates a wave, a nuclear whatever wave that obliterates everything in its path. We compare that with the azan, because azan, that what you hear now is a call, a reminder to men that it's time for salah, it's time for prayer, whereby it gives you enough time to clean yourself, take ablution, clean yourself. This is a directive from Allah, a directive from Allah, a provision directive from Allah. Whereas the nuclear silence is something that man spends. I think last year they spent about $8 trillion on nuclear weapons. Can you imagine? Can we go and listen to the silence, how it sounds, really? This is, it is going to kind of come on in a few minutes. Come on. Do you want to go on or what? Because some of these people, they don't have the luxury. They've never heard of it, a nuclear weapon silence. They've never had it. They've never had the luxury to kind of come across this thing while it goes off. This is what you call a nuclear or a weapon of mass destruction silence. When it's off, when it's gone off, it gives you less than 3 minutes to look for a place to hide. And that place might be Norway. Because if it was a nuclear weapon of mass destruction, it has a radius of up to something like 20 miles from the point where it is. It creates a wave which can travel in a radius of 20 miles. So that is dirty, isn't it? That is bad. And these things most people, they don't have the luxury to come across these interpretations of what nuclear weapons are, what weapons of mass destruction are. Your governments, either here in America, in Europe, they spend a lot of a chunk of the entire budget of a nation onto the developing these things. I did ask one university in Chicago, have you ever got a share of what is manufactured in as a nuclear weapon? Did you get it for lunch, for a month, a full month? They said from 30 days you are here eating what they manufactured as our safety, whatever, here at the University in Chicago. If the answer is no, do not invest these things for the future generations. This is just a warning when silent. The future generations, is that a nice tune? Is it R&B or is it reggae? What is it? What song is it? It's a silent. Did your men craft it? Did you study to invest in such a future? If the answer is no, my man, look forward there for something better, which is a good health. Good health is better than investing in hazards. Hazards are things that can harm your life in one way or the other. Not only your lives, but also the future of your children. Some of you are in your 20s. You have a little baby. You have a 2-year-old toddler, a 3-year-old toddler, a baby boy or a girl. And you say to her, if you listen to that, you say, Daddy, what is that? I say to your little baby, if one day she wakes up and you show her this video, that when I came on planet Earth, I told men that, hey man, you've done great investments. $80 trillion in 2024. That was the investment. There was no, the country, the planet became very dry. No water. California almost every house burnt out. Flash floods and mudslides. And the $80 trillion was spent on these things that you had decided. So men say, that is our wealth for future inheritance for our future generation. What you call liability, inheritance liability to our children. I said that's a wrong investment. If you want the children to have a good, beautiful life, invest in things like trees. Plant trees. You don't have, in fact, some trees you don't have to put water on them every day. Allah will bring the rain. Plant trees so that you stop this desert that is encroaching on everyone very, very fast. The desert is encroaching on every section of this planet at a very, very high speed. Because there's a song called Climate Change, Global Warming, the number one hit. The heat that you see in California that burnt all the houses in California is the number one hit. A song, do they call it Top of the Pops or hits? A hit. Number one hit, like the one Beyonce sang. Which song Beyonce became number one, which spent, is it 10 weeks or? But this may be on for a year. Can you imagine a hit which exceeds the limit and it goes over number one for 1 year, for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and the temperature goes 100, 200 Celsius. That is hot. Can the human body handle that? When I laughed like that, they said, this man, was he doing that in half a day? Yes, I said to the girl, don't you remember when we used to, when you go for whatever, I used to come and say, do you like your whiskey? I said, no, I've got a big hole. That whole black thing you see in the center of the, whatever, silent. That is a hole in my head. When you pour a whiskey there, you just go through and the switches on the alarm thing. The switches on the alarm silent thing. So that's why I came. I said, we have to go on these people. That these are investment in tons and tons of cognac, tons and tons of John Walker, tons and tons of whiskey, tons and tons of Jack Daniels. It's not a good thing. First of all, your body doesn't know how to process these things out of your body. And on top of cognac, tons of biohazards, you've got the nuclear weapons. Do you really love life on Earth, you creations? Or you hate life? Do you really love life or you hate life? The question, I leave it on the table. Mother Nature will ask the question too. What kind of life do you want? The biohazard, the hazard investment, or the nuclear investment? Which life do you want? Kids, you want the biohazard investment and the weapons of mass investment? We know which door to take to direct you, which direction to point you. I'm going back to the moon and have my prayer because it's time for Salah. They're calling Azan. Time for prayer. I'll come back and we'll continue from there. Have a beautiful evening. Do not invest in hazard and do not invest in the liabilities. Second World War liability passed on to Third World War liability passed on to future generations. I think that is that investment and accountability of the auditors and the lawmakers and what have you. Sit in the Senate and make decisions that benefit your wife, your children, as well as future generations. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Keep well and keep